done a lot of study on the topic of peak oil and have come to the conclusion that the theory holds up. I know it's a big topic, but can you give us a quick summary of why you think people should take peak oil seriously?
Yeah, the talk I give used to be called "There Aren't Any More Dinosaurs." The basic idea is that fossil fuels are laid down over hundreds of millions of years, and we're reaping that bounty in 100 years. About half of the deposited fossil fuel, particularly oil, has been used up by most people's guesses. When you get to about half used up, you can't increase the production because it gets harder and harder to find and costs more and more to take out of the ground. But the real clincher about whether or not we're close to what we've called peak oil is the fact that we haven't been discovering the oil. If you look at the peak of discovery of oil, it was back in 1964. We found lots of oil, places like Ghawar and Saudi Arabia. We have been using up those reserves as we pump them out. But the amount of new oil we found last year is about a third of the amount we actually used up. Now, if that isn't unsustainable, I don't know what is. Yet most people say that India and China want to increase their lifestyle, buy cars, and grow to the kind of consumption per capita that, say, for example, Mexico is at. That would move China from 1 barrel a day per person to 7 barrels a day. And to put it in perspective, we're at 20. But if you did that for all of China, when you multiply out 1.3 billion people, that's an amount of usage that's equal to the whole US usage to add to just get to the level in China of Mexico. There isn't enough oil to be found to double what has been being used by the US now. And that's being rationed, as one should expect, through price. And 150 barrels of oil is probably low. It's like about 20 cents a teacup. And considering that you can drive your big, huge steel car many blocks on it, you're not going to just say, I'm not going to ever use oil again because it got expensive. The price inelasticity of it looks pretty high. So the combination of fundamental physical scarcity and the fact that it's used up, not like gold, for example, combined with the fact that we aren't finding as much as we are using, to me gives a QED to the basic concept that the world will be running short. And the last PS on this is the population that grew over the last century from 1 billion people to 6.5 billion people was based on an abundance because we had energy to take the work off the backs of people and animals onto machines, decreasing the quantity of people doing farming from 50% to 3% in this country, allowing for these wonderful technological developments and abundance we have today. But it's a bubble. We've used up the albumin around our egg, and we have to jump to something new, like Doug's suggestion, maybe whole new forms of energy, like nuclear. Coal has some opportunities, and I think there are certainly wonderful investment opportunities, which we probably should jump on a little more in the alternative energy considerations that are called green and alternative to this historical. So there's a message of hope in the alternatives of investment, as well as a message of beware that there are serious problems in life as without all the oil that we would like to have.